Hello and welcome. It's Frances here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid thee welcome. There's a subscribe button and a bell below if you want to be notified as to when I upload more content, which I do on a rather ad hoc basis, and hopefully when I'm not always competing against planes. So in this video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about manifestation. It's a term that usually is bandied about, especially on social media, around the new moon. And I feel it's maybe being a little bit overused, a little bit sort of taken off track as to what it actually means, a bit of confusion due to this overuse. So why don't we take it back to basics? The word manifest itself, coming from the Oxford Dictionary, means is an adjective, clear or obvious to the mind or the eye. And if we're using it as a verb, it is to show a quality of feeling or ability. And then with the Merriam-Webster dictionary, they say it's a readily perceived by the senses, and especially by the sense of sight. So there's a number of different uses for the word manifest. More commonly, it's used to bring something or someone into your life, especially when we're talking about from a magical or metaphysical perspective. And this is what people tend to manifest around a new moon. Okay, so I have nothing wrong with that, but I do think there is an underlying principle that is often forgotten when it comes to manifestation, and that is, especially when we're looking at it from a spiritual or metaphysical point of view, is what are we actually wanting to manifest first, and how are we wanting to manifest it, and why do we not have this thing, this quality in our life already? So I think those are some important questions we need to ask ourselves prior to going out and manifesting everything. Ask yourself, why? Why do you want it? Why do you want to acquire it in the first place? And what is actually stopping you from receiving it already? And I'm asking these questions because there may actually be some subconscious block that you may not be aware of as to why you already don't have such item in your life. And I'm looking at it, as I said, from a more metaphysical point of view, from the point of view that we are all energy, everything in the universe is energy, and therefore we attract, if we could go back to the ancient Hermetic laws, like attracts like, things of our in equal energetic level. So if we are wanting to manifest, to bring something into our life that we don't have it at the moment, could it be because our energetic vibration, our energetic level is not in alignment with said item, person, thing, whatever? And looking at why there may be an energetic imbalance to start off with. The reason I'm saying this is because when we are energetically aligned with things, with people, with events, with things, other things in the universe, we automatically attract them into our life anyway. Something to think about. So I said this goes back to the Hermetic laws, like attract like, having a bit of an understanding of that we are all energy, and that this energy can take on various forms. And it's also an underlying principle, not only within spiritual teachings, metaphysical teachings, but also right across the board, any form of psychic development or personal development, even into business. In the modern, sort of more corporate world, we need to have our energies in alignment first, and they may use different terms, but actually be able to vibrate or resonate at a certain level if we're wanting to bring things into our own life. if we don't truly understand what is blocking us, then there could be something internally. We may be wanting to, say, have love, money, abundance, whatever in our life, but if we on some subconscious level do not think that we are actually worthy or deserve such things, that we have this sort of negative self-sabotage trait going on, well, then it doesn't matter how much we manifest or how many candles we burn or spell jars we create, or I don't know what people do these days when they're wanting to manifest, meditation, whatever. If we have these blockages, the sort of self-sabotaging perceptions of disbelief that we're not worthy of manifesting or receiving such abundance, money, love, whatever in our lives, well then very rarely will we actually obtain it. And also what we're wanting to manifest, we may already have a preconceived idea of it. So we might be expecting, I don't know, big fireworks and brass bands and whatever to announce this abundance coming into our life, while we disregard the tiny little signs that the universe is actually sending us as keys. And these tiny little signs that we're ignoring or we're not consciously aware because we're looking for the big, shiny, bright things. So we ignore the little keys that can actually unlock the chest of eternal abundance. So without sounding too new age, too woo-woo out there, it comes a lot down to our own energetic level, where we are energetically. To raise our own personal vibration, to tap into the abundance that is out there, and various spiritual teachings say that we have the opportunity to achieve everything or receive everything that we desire. We need to understand what and why, and moving beyond the ego into the heart or the soul first. And instead, going back to that very first question, why do we want this thing in our life? Is it because it's something that we really need? Is it something that we want? Is it something because we think it's going to boost our ego, make us seem worthy, or that we have achieved something? So it's another layer to hiding behind our soul. It's sometimes we need to just step back and ascertain why we're wanting such things in our life, and why the things that we have in our life already do not seem to warrant the attention. We might see them as unworthy. So before we start manifesting, I think it's good to look at the word itself, look at what we're wanting to bring into our lives, ask ourselves, do we truly want it? Do we truly need it? Why are we wanting it? And then asking ourselves, why don't we have it already? Maybe we do, but we just have it under another disguise that we have been ignoring, or we haven't noticed. And then look at ways of how we can actually be more open to the gifts that the universe or ancestors or gods, goddesses, higher consciousness, spirit guides, whatever you call, are bringing these things in. I personally think, from my own personal experience, is that the more we sort of become open to the universe, or the gods, goddesses, spirit guides, etc., the more we are able to sit and observe and become one, to surrender to the process. Abundance is free-flowing, and we begin to notice the signs, notice the abundance coming into our life. And it may be actually in different ways and forms than what we perceive or initially perceive. So something to think about when we are focusing on manifestation, as to exactly what it is that we're wanting and what's our part in it as well. something to think about. Blessings.